anything pinging, insights, takeaways, ahas, or is there anything that you need clarified around response proclamation, the curb kick, anything of the sort right now? Sean says, why is it called a curb kick when for someone who stubs their toes? Because I wrote that down just for you, Sean, just to challenge you. This is great, Nick. Love it, buddy. Thanks for that. John, great example of Lady Gaga as well, who's another perfect example of someone who, you know, in the new movie that's coming out with on Elton John, there's that great sort of moment in the when as a young self he's sitting next to another entertainer, and the entertainer says sometimes you got to kill the person you were born as to become the person that you want to be, which, you know, Lady Gaga is a good example of that. And so people go, oh, that's such harsh words. It's like, come on, get over yourselves, gang. There's a lot of different ways that we can be saying things, but for some people, killing the identity that we've grown into that's not serving where we want to go is exactly what is meant there by that. Okay, so Jessica, and love it, Heidi. Thank you. Jessica says, do you find that it helps to have people physically say their response proclamation? Is there something about actually hearing it or saying it that solidifies it? Absolutely. Reading it out loud to yourself is massively different. Like when I've done it, when I've been on stage and I'll read it straight from the book, the response proclamation of the skier, it massively gets people fired up. When I shot the videos, the 4 videos that went viral before the book came out, and one of them is about the response proclamation. I've had, when I recorded it, the production crew that was out in LA with me, almost every single one of the 6 people were, you know, had tears in their eyes, or they would say just how they got chills from it. So yeah, saying it out loud, there is, you know, by you vocalizing something, it's now got a different form. It feels more real than just kind of in your own head. So Delcy says, question, you turn into wonderful dad with Mr. Rogers and businessman with the glasses and probably have several more alter egos. So my question is, my alter ego could be for my business and for my homeschooling mom role, just because of who I chose. How important may it be that they are the same, or should I choose different ones for each? Can they cross over well, or is it a matter of choosing different totems? It might be just choosing different totems for yourself, Delcy. Again, no rules to this. You know, if both fields of play are sharing similar values as to how you're showing up, and maybe it's just a general thing of I want to show up very confident in that role. And it blends over well between both of them. That's fine. But I think you would find as well that when you really break down each of those different fields, that there are probably some different attributes that would allow you to operate at an even greater peak performing level between the two. And it might still share the same inspiration, but maybe you're just dialing up the qualities of those attributes slightly more. Like it's like, you know, turning down the bass, you know, or turning up the treble. Like there's the kind of musical element is still there, but you're just highlighting the alter ego in a different way. And maybe the totem is the thing that activates that for you. But awesome question. Ode says, shoot, my questions are in the Q&A. Oh, let me pull that up then. Ode says, is the ground punch moment different from the reset? Yeah, slightly. Like the reset is just, you're kind of noticing that you're slipping out of it. So it's just a quick little reset. The ground punch moment is more like, ooh, you're really sort of fighting against some serious resistance. And, you know, it's when the battle is being, it's really meant for those situations where circumstances are really getting more challenging for you. instead of just a reset. Reset is like, for those people, especially when you're just starting out, you might just slip out of it. And it's like, oh, this is just the reset. Oh, I just noticed that I was, showed up as, Todd instead of Super Richard. So I'm going to take those glasses off because I want to make sure that I honor the way that I want to be showing up when I'm wearing that, like when I'm in that mode. Okay. But good question, Ode. Robin, I don't think I saw those. Oh, okay. Robin, I don't see a question from you. So I want to see if I missed it somewhere. Okay. Marina says, do you know people who use their alter ego to help them with serious health issues? So great question. I'm actually working on negotiating something with a children's hospital where we get some real hard data on the power of the alter ego effect for kids that are going through like chemo treatments and things like that. So basically kind of preliminary examples and anecdotes that have been sent in is that it has a huge difference in the level of pain threshold that people are able to withstand when going through it. Their ability to recover, again, anecdotal. I don't have any, real substantive evidence with it, but it's not surprising to me that this would be the case because of the chemical cocktail of change that happens in all of us when our mindsets are different. So just like the kids who were wearing the Batman or Dora the Explorer costumes and were working on the puzzle with the keys, displayed higher levels of grit and perseverance, and their self-talk changed, it would only sort of excuse me, sort of go to extrapolate it out that it would probably also change when people are going through some sort of health experience as well. So working on that, but I cannot see, Marina, why it won't help. Oh, okay, great. So Mikhail says, response proclamation is one piece that has to be grounded in the past results performance. No, yeah. Yeah, your response proclamation is you unpacking, hey, like, listen, this is what I am. Like, this is what I've come through. Like, the fact that everyone is, living and breathing right now shows that you've got such a great deal of intestinal fortitude, because life can be very challenging for many people. And so the fact that you're still here shows that you've got a high degree of resiliency. Most people just don't highlight it. Most people don't highlight their wins that they've come through over their career, over their life. And so unpacking that is just only helps you to ground yourself in your own level of self-efficacy and build up that self-concept. And then again, alternatively, you could do it through the lens of that alter ego. Okay. Now, as this is basically, all bonus stuff for everybody here, but, now it's time, to bring it out into the world, which is why we're here to do, is don't forget the power of using allies. So allies, here's why we use allies. Allies get you, they understand you, they know you, they can mentor you. That's what they're there for. And so allies, just like the superheroes use allies around them, just like great characters in movies have mentors and people that show up for them, don't forget that you can kind of lean on people as well. And so finding your allies, just a little bonus sort of mission, is finding some ways to activate a tribe around you. So in the group, we put together a power posse for people, but who are some other allies that you could use as people in your life, people in the community, real life mentors, mentors in your head? There's a great question that Tom sent in asking me the question of, is having a conversation in your mind with a coach or a mentor the same as being having an alter ego? And it's not. That's actually tapping into the power of an ally. I talk about having a mental movie theater that you walk into, and in mine, there's a table where I sit down and I have my sort of tribe of mentors around me. And, you know, that's another way of just creating it in your mind, but you can also have it obviously in your physical world as well around you. So making that list of people that could be there to support, help, super powerful. Also hold you accountable, right? Like when you say, hey, like, listen, there's a new identity that I'm building out. And this identity shows up with more confidence, more decisiveness, and shows up and is able to articulate the value that I bring to my clients and customers in a powerful way. And so as my ally, I'd love it if you held myself accountable to showing up that way. Okay. And again, only do this with people that you have, you know, great trust in the fact that they want the absolute best for you. So we've got this in the workbook as an additional worksheet to kind of maybe unpack some of that for you. And, you know, as a kind of bit of a wrap up with the entire concept of using an alter ego, there are 6 really important mindsets to always be honoring with this. Is embrace the challenge. Like, love challenge. Love the fact that just like, you know, Joseph Campbell was frustrated with the fact that many people took off and ran with his most famous quote, which is "follow your bliss." But really what he meant and what he said in some of his writings and his speeches here in New York City was follow your blisters, because in your blisters, you'll find your bliss. Don't be afraid of suffering through something, you know, which in my view, suffering through means like in a positive way, like taking on the challenge of something. So embrace challenge. So how will you embrace the challenge? You know, stay flexible and adaptable. Don't be fixed. Don't be hard on getting it perfect and right out of the gate. Some people might, some people might not. Be flexible and adaptable with your attitude and with, you know, embracing this entire concept. Embrace imagination and creativity. Know that the more and more you're going to unravel and find more of yourself, the more and more you do this, which is you're going to find more imagination. You're going to find more of your creativity that's already naturally there. So how will you embrace that imagination and creativity? How will you maintain a playful attitude with this? How will you keep a playful attitude with this? You know, a way of sort of even playing with that and honoring that idea is even the way that you build out an enemy. Some people, like myself, I like to make it as big and scary as possible because I like slaying that type of dragon. Other people, it's turning the enemy into Scooby-Doo, where, you know, all Scooby wants to do is just, you know, distract and stay safe, or what, like, that's just a way of applying the idea of having a playful attitude. Number 5, appreciate discovery and curiosity, right? That they are natural parts, they're intrinsic motivators in all of us. And you want to, the idea of, one of the ideas that an alter ego is there to help create and solve is that you're going to go out there and you're going to discover more of what you're made of. And you could be curious about things that may show up differently for you if you honor this and if you use this. And, you know, amongst, you know, many, many other ways of saying discovery and curiosity. So how will you appreciate discovery and curiosity in the way that you show up? And then how will you remind yourself that you can reshape your mind? You know, because it's plastic, changes. It's, you know, we're not oak trees. We can develop new senses of identity. We can develop new skills. We can develop new attitudes. We can develop new beliefs. We can develop new wisdom for ourselves. We can develop new paradigms for how we operate. And all those things end up freeing us and unshackling, you know, any of the things that can typically slow us down and hold us back. So how will you remind yourself that you can reshape your mind? Is it that, you know, even that question alone, is it that there is you keep a brain that you can buy a plastic replica of a brain and keep it on your desk, and just know that that thing can get reshaped, which means this thing in here can get reshaped. It's not static. All right, so now it's time to actually get out there and cross the threshold, gang. So this is the kind of point in our journey where we need to go out there and make this thing happen. And I don't know about you guys, but super proud of a lot of the ways that people have shown up. And, you know, I want to see and get feedback from people on how they're unleashing this new heroic identity and achieving small things, big things, massive things. So, you know, go forward, slay the dragons, vanquish the common and hidden forces of the enemy, and make it happen through something that you already know how to do. It's already built inside. So, a quick little check-in with everybody. Anything that's come up from some of the stuff we just gone through, any insights, additional takeaways, ahas that have pinged for you all over the last 20 minutes? Well, Julie, don't forget, we've got that bonus class next week to bring more questions. And the ones I'll be giving the most attention to will be the ones where people are saying, hey, I went and did this, and this was the result. So tried it, you know, something didn't quite work, right? I won't be paying as much attention to people who are like, hey, I'm kind of stuck in this one. Like, no, this is about activating. That entire purpose of next week is about the activating side of things. So, you know, if there were some questions and I had some time at the end and it didn't relate to people trying something out, then maybe I'll get to them. But it's all about getting you out there, taking the action. Kyle says, I love the last few slides on how we can upkeep our alter ego work. Reminds me not to just do this once and call it good. Like everything I want in life, this process will require constant work and tweaks to stay as effective as possible. Absolutely, Kyle. Because don't forget the purpose of this. The purpose of this is to, you know, develop. I mean, we all are always developing and working. Well, maybe not all. Some people are always developing, working on their identity and reshaping it, right? The moment that, like, if one of the great takeaways for people is to realize that Kyle isn't static. Kyle isn't a past story. Kyle is something that is constantly being rewritten over and over and over again. And while some people may continuously try to treat you as a specific role, you don't see yourself that way. And you can say to yourself, oh, that's really interesting that mom wants to continue to treat me like I'm someone who is forgetful just because I lost my wallet when I was 10 years old, right? Which is a part of my past narrative. But that's not what I'm about. I'm the keeper of the pen in this case. Carl, I love Wim Hof. Funny guy. Great, Ipshita. Thank you, Marianne. All right, so I want to wrap up because the purpose is to get you out there doing, not just theorizing. So again, just to unpack what we covered, we talked about observer and immersion technique to build an alter ego, how to create your alter ego's origin story, choosing your totem and artifact to craft that activation event. 2 different ways to throw a ground punch, taking your alter ego out into the world. We've got some quests inside of the actual workbook itself, and making a list of allies who will support your alter ego and your commitment to unlocking that heroic self. So we have that all inside of the workbooks, as well as I've uploaded a bunch of videos inside of the Facebook group gang of some questions that some of you have already sent in. So dive into those. Next week, we want to wrap up with that additional bonus class for everybody so that I can help you with anything that comes up in the next week as well. So thank you all so much. This has been an absolute blast so far for me, and love all the questions for clarification, because it helps me just refine this even that much more. And then after this, we're going to get to kind of the act of refining this and creating some more training videos that go inside of the members area for all of you. So, if you do me one favor, it would be, because I am on a massive mission to ensure that this book gets into the hands of every single human being that's out there, because I think it is a powerful tool. I'll not think, I know it's a powerful tool to help people get out of their own way and see more of what they're made of. So if you do any sort of social media posts and you share, whether it's the link to the book on Amazon or alteregoeffect.com, tag me in it, or go and leave a comment or review out there around your experience in the masterclass. I would appreciate it, and tag me, because this is the thing I'll be doing and talking about for a very, very, very long time publicly. So thank you, gang.